Hey everybody, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Paul. How's it going?
Not too bad. We're going to do a rapid review on a wonderful film called Blast from the Past. Paul, what's a rapid review?
A rapid review is our series where we try to push you over the edge of watching some of the great films that are definitely underappreciated or underheard of. Which could so if it's Blast from the Past, which we're doing today, or other ones that you can see in our rapid review list, which is go out and see them. They're all great, fantastic, optimistic films. How's it look?
I love it. Pushing people to a playlist already. We're getting better at this YouTube thing. Seriously, folks, this is one you're going to want to see. Blast from the Past. What is it about in 50 words or less? It's about a kooky scientist and his wife who's pregnant in the 1960s, in the shadow of the Cold War, who, the kooky scientist, played by Christopher Walken, has built a replica of their house underground in a bomb shelter. And through one thing and another, and an airplane crashing on their house, they end up being trapped underground in this bunker for 35 years, believing that nuclear war has happened, but it hasn't. They raise their child. The wonderful Brendan Fraser plays their son, Adam. You can see where this is going, Adam, and there's going to be an Eve in a moment. It's his first 35 years is spent only with his mother and father underground. But once the time locks open, he can go back up top. And when he does go back up top, he's going to get supplies. And also, because this is a romantic comedy, looking for love. It just happens to be the 1990s now. In fact, 1999. Whereas he's been raised in a traditional 1950s underground household. So you can kind of see where the comedy for this fish out of water comes from. And the romance, Paul, the romance comes from him running into... Adam runs into Eve, Alicia Silverstone. Couldn't write it better, could you?
Very tip of the hat kind of like aspects and stuff, which is just fantastic. It definitely shows that those two are going to end up which is together, as most romantic comedies kind of end up. But yeah, as Patrick said, Brendan Fraser plays Adam, a very naive, very kind of 1960s fish out of water. Could not be any more charming because he's played by Brendan Fraser, which is Alicia Silverstone. We believe is at the height of her power in the 90s, very underappreciated. Which is a character very strong against Brendan Fraser's very naive character. Fantastic. Christopher Walken couldn't play a better father in this kind of kooky, kind of like anti-communist, kind of Cold War conspiracy nut, fallout shelter bunker builder. And his slightly which is annoyed mother which has to live with this absolute crazy which is father. It's a good kind of circle of people as the main cast. They're all very strong together and
big
stuff.
Names. Walken, Spacek, Fraser, Silverstone. Like, these are the big names of the 90s.
Yeah, no, it could not be better. They're very good. But with that strong cast, with the strong main cast, there's a strong secondary cast which are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
like
Paul, I think the first person that has to get a quick shout out is Dave Foley of Kids in the Hall of Fame, and he's on screen now. You know him from lots of different things. I consider him main cast because he steals some scenes, but he's also a really well written character that moves the plot along. So he is Alicia Silverstone's gay best friend, who is wonderfully witty and sarcastic, but also caring. It's not just a negative character there for comic relief. Genuinely moves the plot along, and I think makes the dynamic of the two love interests meeting, makes that possible, makes it work, makes it believable.
He's a very good supportive character in this, in both ways. He is a supporting character and he is a supporting character, which just makes him very lovely in every scene that he's in. And it couldn't be played more better by David Foley.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to see what Malcolm Reynolds, the captain of the Firefly, was doing years ago, back in 1999, yep, that's right. You've got one...
he plays
Nathan Fillion. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah. I gave his character. He plays... Nathan Fillion is in this movie playing Paul, what is a brilliant heartthrob douche ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, Cliff. Couldn't be played better by Nathan Fillion, which is he plays this charming-esque asshole character, which is a very nice mirror image to Brendan Fraser's character, which is just he's very charming and very kind of innocent and very open. He's very very believable kind of fun character, whereas Nathan Fillion's character is just a shallow kind of asshole who shows you the differences between the two characters, which is nice.
Best of the 50s versus the worst of the 90s. There you go.
That's the definite. That's a really good kind of a mirror image that you get. And Nathan Fillion's also very charming in this, even though he is playing a jerk, which is very fun. He is very good at the comedy scene, which is in the very famous 40s club.
Yeah. So, Paul, for anybody who hasn't seen it, because there are people who've seen this movie and then there are people who haven't, there is a scene in where they go looking for love, but it's actually Alicia Silverstone trying to help Brendan Fraser find love in a 1940s themed kind of swing nightclub. The whole sequence is brilliant. There's a dance, a wonderfully choreographed dance scene. Nathan Fillion shows up to cause trouble. Dave Foley is a wonderfully sympathetic ear for both sides of the main cast or the main love story going on. Alicia Silverstone realizing that she's jealous when she sees Brendan. There is nothing other than perfect for the whole sequence from when they go in to when they leave, because it is 90s rom-com distilled into a sequence. It's fun. It's optimistic. It's simple but nuanced. It's lively yet kind of simple and underplayed at the same time. The whole movie is great.
Yeah, like 40s, not 40s, but club scenes in these rom-com things have a very good formula to it. This is like the pinnacle of that formula and more.
Yeah.
Like as Patrick said, Troy's character plays as the audience's commentator, which is just fantastic. Alicia Silverstone comes to realize that she's in love with the Brendan Fraser Adam character, which is just a great kind of start to the night of kind of just being like, yeah, I'm not, to ending to, oh, I am. Nathan Fillion's character storming in and kind of being his kind of like Nathan Fillion charmingness kind of thing, and then getting his ass kicked in a very funny way, I have to say, and very jerky kind of way. But that dance scene with Brendan Fraser and one of the supermodel kind of characters, great, absolutely great. That whole scene is just fantastic.
This film hinges on big names like Christopher Walken and Sissy Spacek and everybody we've just mentioned. No, that's just really good casting for really well written characters in what is a very well put together movie. It's not missing anything. Alicia Silverstone's love interest is not a love interest. Alicia Silverstone is a co-lead. The romance between the two leads is perfect because of the characters played brilliantly by some well-cast people. Brendan Fraser can play an earnest, fish out of water, naivete with strength. Alicia Silverstone can play, soft but very strong. She's self-aware that, she wants to be kind, but she's also pragmatically tough to deal with the world. It's great. It's just so well balanced and so well paced. The tempo, it moves along nicely. And Paul, we talked about this before. You mentioned how well this just runs through.
Yeah, the tempo in the club scene that we just mentioned is very indicative of what the rest of the movie is. It's got very ups and downs, which are very, very nice. None of them are kind of lingered on too long to kind of bring you down. None of them are brought you up too high to kind of gloss over any of the kind of moments that they want you to see or anything like that. All the characters are made really interesting because of the writing. It is a very good, well put together film. It's charming. It's nice. It's not going to win any Oscars, but out of the rom-com list of films, this should not be a guilty pleasure in any kind of way. This should be on the list of things to watch.
It feels like a 90s film, yet feels so fresh at the same time. Because they don't make them like they used to. Well, they really don't. They don't make them like this anymore. Paul, if I had to convince people to go and watch this, I would say that Brendan Fraser was a brilliant actor before The Whale. Here's some more proof. Alicia Silverstone was a brilliant actress. People just didn't realize it at the time. Christopher Walken playing Cookie. Come on, who doesn't want that? That's crazy fun.
So much cowbell. So much cowbell in that bunker.
So much cowbell in that bunker.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Yeah, it's one that you shouldn't miss. because you will come away from this feeling like you actually watched a fun, enjoyable, nice movie. When's the last time you could say that without having to critically pull it apart or wonder if the sequel is going to be better?
This is a film that does not teach you a lesson. It doesn't have a lesson to teach. It just wants to be entertaining and lovely. That's all it's there for, which is really, really nice. It is not of a time when we liked films like this, ironically. We actually just liked them because they were fun.
Yep.
So it's a very enjoyable film.
Perfect in a 90s way. So if you've seen it before, get into the comments down below. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you loved it or hated it. If you watch it after all of this and after us pushing you towards it so hard, we'd love to hear back from you. The other stuff, if you like, if you want to share with your friends and subscribe and all that good stuff, please do. But what we definitely want you to do is join us next time when we'll be doing the same thing to another fine movie that you should know about. Paul, I think I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
And we've been Hear Us Out, my friend. And we'll see everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.